Let's take a look. Speaking of turf praying, Chaya Raichik of Libs of fucking TikTok lost her Facebook account. Why did she lose her Facebook account? Because Boston Children's Hospital patients and providers have found themselves the targets of violent threats following a campaign of disinformation on Twitter, driven in large part by Chaya Raichik, who operates the social media account Libs of TikTok. After news broke of the threats against the hospital, Raichik and other anti-LGBTQ provocateurs doubled down on their harassment while expanding their campaign to include other hospitals providing gender-affirming care. These motherfuckers need to go to jail. What a fucking ridiculous situation that we're in, where they're like, it's not enough that the federal government is doing, or not the federal government, but at least like state governments are doing everything they can to fucking kill trans people and make sure that they can't transition, make sure that they're driven to the point of suicide. But we have to take matters into our own hands. We have to engage in doxing efforts. We have to engage in like these fucking psychotic campaigns. And honestly, like you do that, you go to jail. Like what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? It's just why? Why are these people breathing the free man's air? One of my friends works there and she's been getting death threats on her personal Instagram. It is fucking insane. Wait, is Chaya a lib? No, Libs of TikTok is a right-wing account. Raichik made nearly identical posts attacking Boston Children's Hospital on Facebook, which reportedly banned Libs of TikTok yesterday, but apparently she got her account back. Boston Children's Hospital says that toddlers can know they are transgender. Some signs are refusing a haircut or playing the opposite gender toys. Boston Children's Hospital is now offering gender-affirming hysterectomies for young girls. It gets much worse. It's a post-millennial article as well. And the NGO's operation, which reportedly banned Libs of TikTok yesterday, but Raichik still remains active on Twitter, Raichik's biggest platform. Raichik has targeted multiple other hospitals and medical providers, leading to harassment and violent threats from her followers, which include more than 1 million Twitter users. On August 9th, anti-trans activist Chris Elston, best known for traveling across Canada, harassing hospitals and their staff over gender-affirming policies for trans youth, tweeted out a video from Boston Children's Hospital to falsely claim it was performing hysterectomies and genital surgeries on minors. The targeting of Boston Children's Hospital escalated when Raichik shared the video with her 1.3 million Twitter followers, tagging the hospital and making the same false claims about it, supposedly now offering gender-affirming hysterectomies for young people. In reality, as noted by PolitiFact and later confirmed by the hospital, patients must be 18 or older to have a letter from a medical doctor stating they have a persistent, well-documented gender dysphoria in order to qualify for the procedure. You have to be over 18. You can't get a gender hysterectomy under the age of 18. And even then, it's not that easy. This is Alex Jones shit. Yes, it's even worse than Alex Jones shit, because Alex Jones was not even directly saying, go after these fucking people. I mean, he kind of was. But this is like directly targeting the hospital and its staff. Their source for these claims is their mental illness. Yeah, literally. Here's the Boston Children's Hospital's official statement. In response to the commentary last week that our critical gender multi-specialty service program, Boston Children's Hospital has been the target of large volume of hostile internet activity, phone calls, and harassing emails, including threats of violence towards our clinicians and staff. We are deeply concerned by these attacks on our clinicians and staff, fueled by misinformation and a lack of understanding and respect for our transgender community. The article and the online attention that followed was based on the incorrect statement that Boston Children performs hysterectomies on minors in connection with transgender care. For hysterectomies performed as a part of gender-affirming care, Boston Children's requires the patient to be capable of consenting for themselves. Age 18 is used to reflect the standard age of the majority for medical decision-making. Boston Children does not and will not perform a hysterectomy as a part of gender-affirming care on a patient under the age of 18. We condemn these attacks in the strongest possible terms, and we reject the false narrative upon which they are based. We are working with law enforcement to protect our clinicians, staff, patients, families, and the broader Boston Children's community and hold the offenders accountable. We will continue to take all appropriate measures to protect our people. Boston Children's is proud to be the home to the first pediatric and adolescent transgender health program in the United States. Boston Children's Hospital is ranked best in the U.S. 9 years in a row. Libs of TikTok going at BCH is right on point for the brand. Bad faith, misinformation at best, just pure ignorance, and also malicious and also demonic. What a fucking demon. Matt Walsh talked about it as well on his show. Here
Today
it
on the
is.
Matt Walsh Show, children's hospitals around the country are butchering, mutilating, and sterilizing their young patients. So according to Boston Children's Hospital, literally every toddler who has ever been born or will ever be born is trans. Now, if it seems like they're casting the widest imaginable net in order to catch the most children they can and put them all on a path to sterilization and butchery before they can even talk, well, that's because that's exactly what these monsters are doing. And they've done.
The fact that this kind of narrative can continue, by the way, is pretty incredible. But yet again, it's another example that like just no one gives a shit about trans people. Like people just do not care about trans people. People talk shit about trans people. People literally call for blood. People call for the heads of trans people and they can get away with it because no one cares. It is really fucked up. How are you legally just allowed to say whatever the fuck you want about a person or entity with zero repercussions? There's no protections. There are no protections.
Done it up until this moment without much resistance from the public. But that has to end. We have to stop making it so easy on them. And that's why I'm in the very early stages of trying to organize a national coordinated effort to fight back against this evil. You know, it's really just a matter of where do we begin? Maybe we begin at Boston Children's Hospital.
Boston Children's Hospital says its staff is being threatened and harassed now after far-right activists on social media posted misinformation claiming they perform gender-affirming hysterectomy procedures on young girls. The hospital says it's not true. They do not perform those procedures for anyone under the age of 18. Boston Children's Hospital says it is proud, though, to be home to the first pediatric and adolescent transgender.
The scary reality here is that if enough people are transphobic, you can just get away with this. If enough people are fucking white supremacists, you can get away with this. If enough people are anti-Semitic, you can say this and literally institute pogroms. It is the exact same bullshit. That is the unfortunate, scary reality. If there were adequate measures in place, there should be some, like this person would be in jail. Like he would literally be in jail. That is insane. It is completely fucking insane that Matt Walsh can go on his broadcast and straight up be like, we need to start a mass campaign against Boston Children's Hospital. And the goal is not about the truth, by the way. Let me just clear something up here. When you turn around and talk to a person like this or talk to one of their fucking followers and you say, well, technically they're not doing hysterectomies under the age of 18. You're actually wrong. Don't misunderstand. They probably know. They do not care. You have to recognize that, like, they are lying specifically so they can get more people on board with their cause. You're not going to be able to change their minds, and you're not going to be able to change the minds of a lot of people because ultimately, the conversation was never about trans women competing in sports. The conversation was never about trans women going and using the correct bathroom. The conversation always was about trans people existing. And a lot of the people that turn around and fucking, that's freedom of speech? Oh, really? That's free speech? So if I were to say the exact same things that Matt Walsh is saying about trans people, but for you in particular, figure out where you live, dox your fucking family, and then say that my gigantic audience should come over and do something about it, that would not be protected by free speech, would it? It would not. Of course it wouldn't. I would get banned immediately. At this point, it's not even stochastic terrorism. Their logs are generally normal, to be honest. Yeah, but there's so many people that like lose their shit when trans people get brought up. That's it. That's why. No amount of disproportionate oppression that trans people face is going to cause them to finally turn their attitude around. They're just not going to because they're just afraid. Yeah. Stephen Miller is elevating it. Stephen Miller is promoting it. This is monstrous. How does anyone involved in this still have a medical license? I wonder how. Because what you're saying is just a lie. It's an outright lie.
Health program in the United States. The hospital, though, now is working with law enforcement to try to better protect its staff.
Here it is. Matt Walsh, knowing that the Boston Children's Hospital staff are getting violent threats, continues to push inflammatory anti-trans, anti-Children's Hospital mocking tweets to his audience. Yes, this is stochastic terrorism. It's not. It's just direct terrorism at this point. At a certain point, you gotta realize that like this isn't stochastic. He is doing a call to action. When you're doing a call to action, I don't know how much of a like I don't know what more you can say. I mean, he's not directly saying like bomb this hospital and kill the doctors, but he's pretty much saying that. He's saying it without saying it. We are deeply concerned by these attacks on our clinicians and staff, but not by irreparably mutilating the bodies of minors. Apparently, that's awesome, dude. Fuck this guy. I really, really, really hope that they get their ass fucked by the long dick of litigation. I want these motherfuckers to just open up the coffers. I want it so bad. I want it more than anything else. I want what's going on with Alex Jones to look like a joke. I want them to be sued so fucking hard that they think long and hard about ever shitting on people for taking any kind of medical decision that they want to take ever again. They are unironically looking to, as the chatter also correctly pointed out, incite violence against these doctors, in the same vein as Bill O'Reilly did towards doctors that were providing abortions. But instead, these motherfuckers are able to just do whatever they want. They can be on YouTube, they can be on Facebook, they can be on Twitter and continue the blood libel. They can do all of this shit. They can advocate for it nonstop. Ben Shapiro's doing it. Look, apparently carving fake penis out of arm flesh and suing them into minor girls not dangerous, quoting the people who promote such atrocities as verbatim dangerous. Remember, abortion is a one-to-one comparison to this. Why? Because it's a medical decision. It is a normal medical procedure. Top or bottom surgery, same shit. Normal medical procedure. Any medical procedure that you don't like personally, you could bastardize and make to make it seemingly incredibly violent, because surgeries are just like, if you describe surgeries in real terms, it's going to come across like it's a really fucking violent thing, like open heart surgery. Do you understand? You could describe open heart surgery in the exact same way. You could describe tonsil surgery in the exact same fucking way. And they do this with abortion, and they're doing it with surgeries that trans men and women get. Now, the difference, of course, is that they're also lying and saying children are getting these surgeries when they can't. The right wing is radicalizing and arming the mentally ill for their political gain, dangerous stuff. Yeah. You could describe this about your wisdom teeth getting removed this exact same way. But of course, wisdom teeth removal is not happening exclusively to a minority of people that are getting fucking dunked on nonstop and can openly be discussed as an aberration, as a wound to be, as a fucking wound to be cauterized, or as a problem to be excised from society in the same way that trans people are. And that's it. That's why they can do that. That's why they can talk about that in these terms. Same with fucking women. Same with abortion and women. You could just shit on women, except, of course, trans people and trans issues are nowhere near as popular as, abortions which impact women, which is why there's a 75%, 75% fucking approval for defending Roe v. Wade. And yet Republicans were able to take that away too. So fucked up. I think you might be missing the point, no offense. I think Ben Shapiro might be thinking of society effects rather than the surgery itself. What? Are you a fucking 6-month subscriber trying to describe Ben Shapiro's unironic transphobia by trying to normalize it and defend it? What the fuck? What's societal effects? What, if an 18-year-old, after consulting a fucking doctor over the course of a year and demonstrates they have gender dysphoria, is able to get a fucking surgery, all of a sudden you're going to fucking lob your dick off? Is that what you think? Is that how it's going to work? You fucking monster. What are you, out of your mind? No, I don't know much about it. I was just thinking about it. If you don't know much about it, why do you fucking immediately side with the most reactionary person that you know is a fucking demon? Think about that. Societal effects. A trans person existing has no societal effect on you, you fucking idiot. Armenian genocide? What? Bro, that's my favorite, dude. I swear to God. Conservatives that come in here and literally don't even think. They just go Armenian genocide. He didn't even say, I deny it, or what my opinions are on it. He just wrote Armenian genocide. Because, in that moment, he was so horny to come up with something. He was like, ah! I've never denied the Armenian genocide. Never. Which is pretty funny. Because so many people so many people on the right, routinely just lie about that. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do know why. Because, you have nothing. So you have to, make something up. Just respond with the Native American genocide? No, because I'm not fucking denying it. I'm not even going to, shift the attention away to anything else. Libs of TikTok, Matt Walsh and other far-right influencers decided to make Yale New Haven Hospital and Pittsburgh Children's Hospital their next targets. Oh, they're moving on to other hospitals, too. There's very little chance these demons can be reformed or convinced. They must fear prison time or they'll never change. In fact, they'll get worse. There's no bottom. Why would they go to prison? I hope you go to prison. The terrorists at Media Matters are inciting violence against me. Please, everyone, report them. I shouldn't say anything. I just said, inshallah, one day you will get better. That's all I said. I didn't say anything bad.